So welcome. I am Carla, and I have been working with Healy. I've been using my own Healy for 2 years now, and I've been primarily, other than mothering, which is my primary life work, other than that, I've been primarily working with Healy for a year and almost a year and a half now. And what I can tell you from that experience so far is that you are going to have the most incredible journey, whatever way that looks. Healy is the game changer. I have done healing modalities and self-practice for, around 20 years, a little bit longer. I've done all, not all, I'm sure there's so many like beautiful practices that I haven't found, but I've done a lot because it's been my life goal to like grow and expand and like get my soul to the highest place or the deepest place or the expanded, whatever version you see life as. And a lot of those practices have taken me to a point or served me through a certain time. But I kind of had reached a space in my life where none of those practices were working because I was hit by like the deepest, biggest work in my life. And Healy really deepened me and has taken me much farther. And so it's an incredible tool to collaborate with other practices. It's an incredible tool to serve us on our body level, as well as our emotional level, as well as our mental, spiritual, lifestyle, like all things. So what Healy is, for those of you who haven't purchased it or haven't got it in your hands yet, you've seen it on a screen. Mine has a heart on it because my son gave it to me, gave me the heart. So this is Healy. And it was designed to be something that will make its way into homes. And so there is a bigger machine that was designed, but the Healy itself is a wearable frequency device that has this capacity to scan us in our bioenergetic field to identify the frequencies that are most relevant for us to receive kind of moment to moment. It does a scan every 10 seconds while it's running a program. So these frequencies that we're receiving are very specified to us in each moment. So that really sets it apart from any other frequency device that is and coming up on the market. And so there are multiple ways that the frequencies are delivered to us. So we have the microcurrent. So you would use these bracelets or electrodes and then hook up the cords to where the bracelet. I'm just wearing the coil right now, but so the bracelets would be on. And so the microcurrent itself has incredible capacity for serving our body. So by using the microcurrent, we're increasing our cellular voltage by up to 500%. And as we know, we're moving through life, environmental influence, the foods we eat and the things that are on the foods, and stress, just life. Everything that is like stressful to the system decreases our electricity from our body. We're electrical beings. And so to have the microcurrent to be able to increase, kind of like a battery charger, to increase our energy of our cells is going to offer us incredible health benefits, ATP production, the cellular voltage increase, and collagen production as well, which is nice for anti-aging. So that is one of the ways that the frequency will be offered to you. And the other way is with a coil. It's a little attachment. So hopefully you purchased the coil or you received it in a bundle because it's a really beautiful way. It's approved for use with children and animals as well, which is great. And also if people have a pacemaker, you don't want them to be using the microcurrent, but they're okay to use the coil. So the coil creates like a magnetic torus field, and the frequencies are absorbed through there. And then also there's a third way, and using the Healy without any attachment. I mean, you don't have to disconnect it, but the Healy can use or can send frequencies through the quantum field. So you don't even have to be in the same room to send somebody frequencies, which is really beautiful because I can send, frequencies to the family when they are out of the house and to friends and clients. So it's a really beautiful Beautiful tool. So today, the point of this, because especially, looking through, many of you have just received your Healy or haven't even received it yet, or you're just kind of new. And you'll know something to know is that Healy is also here to teach you patience because there is a process of slowing down and becoming very intentional with it. Healy is it's a quantum tool. It is designed to work with your intention. Everything begins with intention. And when we're looking at like how many layers this device has, the intention is really powerful. But sometimes the lesson about the patience comes in the form of like, why is it like not working? And like the app isn't connecting and like, because at the beginning I have noticed the majority of people go through like a little bit of like a scramble because you've purchased this device. It's, a price range that may feel like, a lot for what it looks like. Once you know what it does, it's invaluable. But so I just invite you to pause before you begin using your Healy. Maybe take a drink of water because water is of utmost importance. So step 1 to using Healy, be sure that your body is hydrated. We are electrical beings and we need something for the electricity to travel through. And so water is that conductor of the electricity. It's very important. So it's recommended, just for like general like wellness, that we drink half of our body weight in ounces of water. That's maintaining. So if you're someone who does that, great, keep that up. You may want to up your water consumption at the beginning of Healy use, just making sure that you're drinking a lot of water. I mean, I feel like all of us here can probably figure out the hydration, but it's important. So what I like to do now is just drink a glass of water right before I'm going to do a Healy microcurrent session, especially just to be sure. And you can also wet your wrists. This is going to be really a key thing at the beginning, especially because when you get your bracelets, they're brand new. And so they're nice and firm. And as you use the bracelets, they will soften in and then there'll be easier conductivity. So I'm going to walk you through using this incredible device. And if you have your Healy with you, you're welcome to kind of follow along. We'll begin with, I'm going to plug my phone in and I can show you things as we're going. Just bear with me while I get the things attached. All right. Okay, and just mute yourself as you come on in. I'm so sorry, I forgot to put the setting on.
Mommy, I go to the pot. Yeah, what?
Oh, am I muted? Hold on. Can everyone still hear me?
You're good now, Carla.
Oh, okay. Was I muted? Awesome.
Yeah, I accidentally muted all, and that
Oh,
muted you as well.
okay. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. So to begin, Healy is something, this device works with with apps, which is incredible. It makes it possible for us to use in our homes. And so these are the 3 apps currently that you're going to want. We are just about to launch this is like strange timing because we're just about to launch a new Healy Advisor analysis app. So oops, you know what I'm going to do just quickly is we're going to stop the phone from falling asleep. I forgot to do that. If I know, hold on, how do I do that? Oh no, never mind. I don't remember how to do it. If anyone does, that's great. Okay, so these are the 3 apps that you're going to want to use. So if you are going to your Healy with I have a symptom, I want to treat that symptom, that is kind of one passageway of using Healy. The gift exists in scanning to identify what frequency is like calling from your original blueprint, right? So you can use Healy with like, oh my gosh, I've got an earache. I would love to treat that. So Healy does have the capacity to actually like go to the core through scanning and finding out what it is that you're needing in every given moment. Because maybe the cause of that earache is because you got too much water in your ear. Maybe the cause of that earache is a nutritional deficiency. Maybe the cause of the earache is actually an emotional, blockage that's holding something, right? And that's why it's expressing in an earache. So by using this scanner, you're definitely, so that's on the resonance and above models. You're really going to seek the core of the issue. But we do have tools for people who want to treat the earache. So I'm just going to quickly show it to you first because it's separate from all of the other process. So this is the Heal Advisor here. So that's the one with the little rainbow on it. And you would move through and it'll just sync your data. If you haven't logged into this yet, you'll have to log in with your email that you signed up for your Healy account with and the password that you created. So at the bottom, you can see a search bar. I won't go into everything. This app has many different capacities, but just to show you how to like choose a program from here, we're going to go super basic for you guys this morning. So search, you would go to the search. And so we'll just stick with earache because I was just speaking about it. Make sure that all of these are ticked off. These are all the programs that your Healy will have just to make sure. So you're going to put in whatever your issue is. So earache is in there. Okay. And so you'll notice there's a list of program or like words that come up here. They will not correlate to the Healy because we had some compliance issues. We can't claim that Healy can cure anything other than local pain in most of our spaces, anxiety and depression in some spaces. So we have it in kind of a, it's in disguise essentially. So you would look and you choose from the first drop down. So harmony ears. Oh my gosh. Ear ache. So harmony ears 3. So you click on that and then you see these programs here that show up. So defense in the bioenergetic harmony 1, the release in the gold cycle, cell harmony and down. So these are all programs that would be supportive of an earache and you can kind of logically understand them, right? Release is an incredible program in the gold cycles that's really good to release any pain from the body and the emotions. Defense is a big one for, any sort of things that are in the immune system issues there. Okay. So that is if you were choosing based on something that you feel happening and you want. So then what you would do is take that information. You now know, okay, say we were going to run defense. You're going to close out of this app and then use the Healy Pink app, the Healy 2 app. Connect your Healy. This is where the patience comes in. And then you go to bioenergetic harmony 1 and you find your defense program up at the top and then you would begin to start your program. It's now transmitting the frequencies, the program from your phone to your device using Bluetooth. And when it loads up, you'll then have your program ready to roll on your Healy. And I'm actually not going to load this all the way right now because I'm going to show this again through the use of the Blue app. So I'm just going to stop this because I've decided I don't want to do this right now. Close it out. Okay. So now we get the, that gives us how to use the Heal Advisor, and it is really accurate and very helpful, especially when, you're deciding on behalf of somebody else as well, and you don't have the capacity to scan. And also if you don't have the resonance or above model. So if you have anything under the resonance, you can use that. So a lot of the times if you end up with say you bought a mag and you got a Healy Gold, it's a good time to upgrade right now, by the way, because the upgrades are 75% off. But aside from that, if you did have a gold device, for example, then you could use the Heal Advisor and choose which of the programs that you're going to use, remembering that you will have limited program choices, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to quickly go through the blue app, the Heal Advisor Analyze. This is the like super amazing magic of Healy, which not magic, it is science, but it feels like it. So this is going to really help you pull which program is going to be in the highest for you to receive. So you open your Heal and Analyze, make sure your Healy is on. Connect to your Healy. There we go. So if you have a professional or a Resonance Plus, you will see all three of these modules, the resonance, the coaching, and the aura analysis. If you have just the resonance, you're just going to have the resonance analysis. If you, so we're working with the resonance analysis today. So this is going to open, you're going to have to create a new client. So we'll just walk you through that. So you're a person. You can add a photo if you want to. Your first name and your last name, as well as your date of birth and your place of birth are, I mean, you can just put your name if you want to, but those are really what I believe are helpful in identifying us in the field. So if you've ever done like an astrology reading or a human design reading or any of that, those are like the main things. If you're doing this for a client, you might want to add the email in there as well, because you want to be able to send them the information, or you want to have their information. Say you're doing this at an event somewhere, right? You would want to have their information. So just keeping in mind too, like this is in the resonance, but it's a good habit to add the photo in. So if you're doing it for a client, you could ask them to text you a photo after. And yeah, like Carla said in the chat, the aura analysis, which is the other module, you definitely need a photo in because it does a beautiful thing. So then you have to make sure at the top, there's a check mark there that you can see up at the top. You're going to want to check that once you've added all the information. So then you'd be in as a client. So if you go to the home screen at the bottom, you can see your clients and your lists. We'll talk about the lists in the moment, but you go to your clients, say you're going to start now. So here, we'll start here. So you open your resonance analysis, you're going to open, and then you're going to find yourself as the client once you've added yourself in. So I'm going to find myself here. It's again going to scan for your Healy. And if you have a lot of them sitting around like I do, it might take a moment. Okay. So you see the photos in, and here's your focus. With the resonance, you are limited to this focus. This is something you can't change. There are other programs where you can. But you can add to this intention if you need to, if you're working with programs, because like I said, intention is like the key. So with what do I have the greatest resonance with now? But whatever you're holding in your heart is going to be your intention. So just remember that. And then you continue to the database selection, and you're going to choose from, these are all the program groups that are available for Healy. So this will even have program groups that you do not have on your Healy. Like for example, the Healy Watch programs are there. I don't have them, but everything is stored in here. So what I like to do, and it's kind of like the general practice, is to start with an all Healy program scan. That's going to scan from all the program groups, and you're going to start your analysis. Now, when you're sticking your thumb onto the screen, it is not scanning your thumbprint. It's just heat censored, but this is designed to bring that intention into place. So this is where you're going to really hold that intention of with what is in the highest resonance for me to receive. And if you have anything in addition, you're going to hold that in. So this is what's in the highest for me right now, the Healy job programs, which is not at all surprising, because Healy job programs are a lot about like concentration. I'm in the middle of trying to organize my thoughts with no sleep, and it's Healy trying to help me put things together for you guys through me, right? So The unfortunate thing is that I don't. Oh yeah, I do have them on this Healy. Okay. I'm running too many Healys right now. I'm like, I've got this one, it's a Resonance Plus, and I've got this one over here. So we'll go with the Healy job programs. All right. So you take note of that for yourself, Healy job programs. And now if you want to, you've got these 5 program groups here, right? You've got all 5 of these, and you can actually send this into the quantum field for you to receive the highest frequency from each of these program groups through the quantum at this moment in time, if you want to. And that could be the step that you're using this for. So to do that, you would go to the bottom, click your action, and vibrate. I'm just going to choose a short period of time, so you can choose how long you want to vibrate this in. So this is also a little sneak preview. I'm trying to like integrate it in to make it as easy as possible. So this is how you send a distant frequency. And I'm also choosing, finding the one that I want to bring over to my pink app. So I'm just going to choose 1 second right here just to make it quick. And right now, as I press start, it's sending me the highest frequency from each of the programs within each of these program groups that is best for me to receive, or best for my client, or best for whoever I'm sending them to. Okay. That's also a way that you can end up sending, say Healy watch programs came up on there. I don't have them on my actual Healy, but I can send them in the quantum field for me. So if you just have a resonance, but the job programs come up for you, then you can send them through the quantum and receive from there. Okay. So that was the little aside. I'm trying not to get confusing, but we're getting there. So now that I've decided, I see here the Healy job programs, right? But I want to know which job program I want to run on my microcurrent. So I'm just going to go back to the little, the little frequency at the bottom. There's a little zigzagger frequency. Start all over again. So step 1, go to the resonance analysis, choose myself again. The patience piece for Healy. There we go. So I've got myself here. I'm going to go to the database selection. And this time, instead of choosing all Healy programs, I'm going to look for the job programs. There we go. Start the analysis. Hold that intention. Positive thoughts. I love this. It's really amazing. There's wildfires like surrounding where I live right now. So positive thoughts would be really helpful for me right now. So it's just every time the resonance is so powerful. It's so amazing. So positive and extreme tension. Yeah, these are all very accurate. I love it. So positive thoughts is the program that I've got that information. And again, I can send this into the field if I want to. Let me know if anybody wants me to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to take this and I'm going to run a Healy program for myself right now. So I'm going to have to fully close out of this app. So if you have a Samsung, I'm not sure how to do it, but with an iPhone, yeah, do the swipe. And then I am going to just quickly get my here while I'm connecting it. I'm going to multitask and get my wrist straps on. This is like the sound we hear in our house all the time. Is like in the middle of the night, my poor husband wakes up to me realizing that I want to take my wrist straps off because my program's done, because I sleep with my Healy. I'm not sure that it's recommended because sometimes I do wrap myself up, but I do like to have a program while I'm sleeping. So pink app, connect your Healy. And then there we go. It's my Healy, so a lot of the times I just lick underneath just helps with the conductivity. Go to next. All right, so now I'm going to choose the job programs here, and I'm going to go to the positive thoughts that it came up with. So you can see here the maximum program duration is 45 minutes. That's a suggestion. So if my body at 40 minutes is complete, then the program will close out there. So it's just a suggestion. Anything else here? So you can see also here that this can be used with the coil as well. So It shows the electrodes, like it's really strange on the wrists, but they mean the wrist straps if you have them. Okay, so now again, the Healy, the phone is transferring the program to the Healy. And once it's complete, this is the only time the Bluetooth has to be running, unless you're sending distant frequencies as well. The Bluetooth has to be running there. So this is the only time. And Healy uses a very low frequency. I can't remember what they call it. There's a word for it. It's like, it's not a super, super high intense Bluetooth. So that's if you're sensitive to Bluetooth, but using Healy, you will actually desensitize to the Bluetooth frequencies, because Healy in itself, and especially using the microcurrent, will strengthen your bioenergetic field, and you will become less affected by things like Wi-Fi and things like other people's angry crappiness and Bluetooth. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so now we've got this going. So it says now 44 minutes is going. So now you have to increase. So yeah, there you go. I had to move a little bit. So it says a frequency is generated, but no measurable. Oh my gosh, there shouldn't be. Hold on. I'll undo. There we go. Okay, a frequency is generated, but no measurable current is flowing. So you would want to increase your intensity. Now, this is microcurrent. You do not have to go all the way up to 100%. You do not have to feel it like zzz, it's not a tens machine, okay? So with microcurrent, you do like less is more. So if you find like this program, this is actually very unusual for me to be, maybe it's because I licked my wrists, but it's very unusual at 15% for me to be conducting. So usually I have to go to around 30. But what I like to do, I've heard people, with various ways of using this. If you're just beginning, which all of you are, you really don't want to go over 30% because, well, you can use it, it's your own body, but like you want to let your cells get used to using frequencies. If you're somebody who has been doing frequency treatments through other means, then maybe you know your body. You will know if you have overdone it, if you have a feeling of like anxiousness, over kind of excitability, you just have like kind of an intensity to you. Don't worry, it's not going to harm you. Just go get your feet on the earth, drink some minerals, extra water, take a break. Okay. But I will give you this like blanket, like suggestion. Just don't overdo it at the beginning. Okay. You're going to, you have this, it's in your house. It's not going anywhere. Okay. So I like to sometimes wait until I feel like a little tingle and then I back it off 1 or 2. So, but because this was actually conducting for me so low, I'm thinking I don't need to go very high on this. So now, you won't be able to see my Healy because it's a tiny little screen, but right now the Bluetooth is still going and I don't like that. So I want to close out my program completely. It will continue to run because the program's on the Healy. The frequencies are coming from the Healy. It's not the app, but you will not be able to see the little timer anymore and you won't be able to see the little wave. So the one challenge is sometimes you'll notice, so right now there was 856, 852, but now it's gone to 16.3. So there's different frequencies running in this program group or in this program. So now it's not at 902. So you can see the different frequencies. And right now, Healy is actually taking the first part of this program to identify which of these frequencies they're going to choose for me to receive through that 40 minutes. And if I run this program tomorrow, or even 20 minutes from now, there's most likely going to be different frequencies offered to me, which is incredible. That's really powerful because if we're working through something, we're healing in every moment, we're different. Okay, so if you don't want your Bluetooth running, you just close out of your program and your Healy is still running, and I have that program already moving for me. Is there any questions about that? I'm just going to check the chat for a second and see here. Okay, so Megan, it said, how do you dig deeper into what each area means? Not sure if I'm asking that correctly, but when 5 pop up, how do you see what they all mean? Okay, so one thing about the program names, because we are this incredible company with potential to really serve and balance our bodies, mind, spirit on so many levels. The creator, Marcus Schmieke, could not say like, this program is if you have a cold, or this program is if you have anxiety, or, well, actually anxiety is different because it's approved, but yeah, there's like suggestive names, and you'll get to know what they mean. There are resources within, you can talk to the person you purchased from. And we have some non-compliant descriptions of the programs. They're non-compliant because we cannot claim that Healy heals anything, right? So we have these resources that are available, and if yeah, speak to the person who you purchased it from. They will have it. If they don't, they can find it for you. And there's some, just from listening to like the creator speak, he will talk, like, for example, when I spoke about how Release is a program that's really helpful to release physical, emotional, you know, kind of experiential things from your body and your life. We know that, and because Nuno Nina, the creator of that program, spoke to it. So now we kind of know that. And so there's actually a really big document that has this. So we can get that from you, or to you. And then Carla answered the other question in there. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Great question for the coil. Okay. So when I was increasing the, actually what I'll do is go back in. Okay. I'll show you right now. Okay, so this is also, so say you're running your microcurrent or you're running your coil, and you're like, oh, okay, it's gotten really high. So there's a frequency that comes in and you're like, ooh, it's strong. I find this sometimes where it starts being a little intense. I feel a little bit of like pressure or something. So I need to go back into my program. So you just go back into the app, and you will see Positive Thoughts is still running. It says it's been running for 6 minutes, right? So it's continue. I can continue on, and it jumps me right back into the program. Okay, so there's still 38 minutes running. It was at 45%. Perfect. Okay, so you could increase or decrease what you needed at that point in time. So from here, I'm just going to put a coil in. So I'm going to pull out the cords, so it'll disconnect, and then I'm going to put the coil in for now. So this is the other way that we receive the frequencies that I mentioned. So you just click your little coil into the back piece. By now, I hope you figured it out if you have a coil. Okay, so coil, this is a personal thing. There are people who say to turn the coil up to 100%, and they're fine with that. If that feels good to you, then go for it. With me personally, there would be no way that I could run a program on the coil at 100%. It would feel way too strong for me because I'm very sensitive to the magnetic field. So if I'm wearing this, I have a coil running right now. So if I'm wearing this and I increase it, 75 starts to feel like a lot. And so for me personally, when the coil feels too intense for me, I get almost like a pressure in my chest, or like a like tightening feeling, or like anxious in my breath, like that. So I have to lower it down. So for me, the coil, I still don't go any higher than 55% on a coil. Even that's a little bit much. But that is a personal preference. You'll just play with it. Yeah, it's really just up to you. There's no rules on that. So hopefully that's clear, Chantal. I'm just going to pop this out and then replug in my microcurrents, because that's what I actually want to run that with for myself.
Yes, that was clear. Thank you.
Thank you.
I actually had one other quick question for you. What is the difference between using the coil and the electrodes? How does it work differently?
So the microcurrent is actually working through your, it's more of like a cellular thing. It's like the microcurrent is sending a microcurrent through your body. And so there's those additional benefits of the microcurrent that are really amazing. Like I mentioned, that increasing of that cellular potential for you, that cellular voltage. The coil does not do that. So the microcurrent is quite a physical like treatment on the body. You don't want to do more than 3 microcurrent programs in one day. And if you're using the microcurrent all the time, then that's where you're going to get the highest benefit from Healy. So when we get the coil, and we're very excited because we can walk around without all the cords, you're not getting as deep of a physical experience on like the cellular level. However, that's not to say that you're not receiving frequency. The coil is amazing because so many of the things that we have going on with us are mental, emotional, and the coil is really, really powerful for those mental, emotional, spiritual kind of I don't want to say issues, but you know, the things that it's working on. So the coil creates a magnetic field and the frequencies are received through that. So you can wear your coil and do multiple frequencies a day. You would feel into it, but I have days where I run program after program after program. And yeah, I love it because there's no cords. So I also personally love the idea of doing them. You don't have to sit and like be quiet with your microcurrents. But because of the cords, it's really nice to do that at, like, I'll always do one before bed and falling asleep because my body's nice and rested. But you can walk around, just tuck your cords, good like hack, tuck your cord up your sleeve and tuck your Healy in so that you don't have the cords hanging all over, grabbing into things. Just put it in your sleeve and it's so much easier to work with. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about the blue, like how, because I really want it to be clear. I know sometimes it's complicated, you see, and you can come back to this, but when you're deciding that you want to do a Healy session and you're like, okay, I want to figure out what program to run on here. Just to recap, you would go into your blue, you would choose the resonance, you choose all Healy programs. Yeah, sorry, I'm very distracted by chats. I should probably like come to the chat in a moment. So I'll recap. So we want to do a program. So we're going to go into the blue app. We're going to do a scan through the resonance, choose yourself as a client, and then you're going to scan. I'm going to turn this off so that I can, there we go. Okay, so then you're going to do the scan for the all Healy programs. So that way you're choosing for the whole of all the Healy groups, and you're going to get the 5 program groups. You're going to choose the top one unless your Healy doesn't have it. So say digital nutrition comes up on it, but you've got a resonance plus and you don't have that, then choose the next one down. The percentages there are giving you the relevant, like the relevance. This is the most relevance for me to receive kind of thing. So then you're going to choose that and you're going to, let me see, say it's, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so tired. So all night I'm like just blanked. Okay, yeah. So then you get the top program and then you start all over again. So you go to the little vibration at the bottom and then you choose, instead of the all Healy programs, you would then choose that program group that it was there. So like bioenergetic harmony was for that. And then you choose that program. And there you go. Do the scan for the group and you'll figure out what. I think I just confused you more, but you saw it the first time, so go back. Sorry. Okay. Please show you how to search for the element again. Okay. Yeah, perfect. So if you're someone who likes to know, this is where we go. So that Heal Advisor. So this app you want to have, you go into the Heal Advisor. If you're wanting to search something out, next, it will connect to the cloud. You don't even have to have your Healy around for this one. Go to the search at the bottom and then into the search bar. Let's go with anxiety. You got anxiety, then you have what drops down, choose the top group, And then you will find the programs that will be recommended for you. So mental balance, acute, extreme tension. Oh my gosh. Spirituality, regeneration, and there it is on there. So choose any of those. So then you can actually like start the program, I think, from here. I just didn't want to so then you'd start, I think you start the program and it'll choose a Healy there. I didn't want to add too much in. It would choose your Healy. You can actually run them on the mags too, and then go from there. Or you can just close out of it and open your Healy Pink app and then find that program in there. Okay. And there's another question in here. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly, does everybody feel clear about that for like basic walkthrough of how to use the blue app and the pink app? Hopefully that's clear. And just go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any questions about that. And then I'm just going to quickly go over the coach and the aura analysis kind of together because they're similar. Let's give you a second to put any questions if you have. The blue app is the Heal Analysis Advisor. The pink app is Healy 2. And I think the old apps are on there. So that's a great question because you want to get the ones that you have. And like I said, there's a new blue app coming out right away. But that's what you need for now. So I'm just going to go in. So the blue app, you're going to go in if you're wanting to do a coaching analysis. So coaching is this like incredibly powerful tool. I'm just going to go and choose myself as a client. And it's going to choose my Healy. It's going to have to find a Healy that's not working right now. There we go. So the coaching analysis is incredible. You may not have really even figured out about it. If you have the Resonance Plus or the Pro, you have the coach app. So I'm not going to talk to, actually, does anybody in the chat, if you just want to put in, if you do not have the Resonance Plus or the Pro, let me know in the chat. So the coaching analysis essentially has that capacity to scan ourselves in our highest blueprint that exists in the quantum field to identify this focus that we put in here. So we would take anything that we would take to a life coach, a wellness coach, a business coach, we would take that to our Healy coach. And we're going to put a goal in. So something that we are wanting to create, or we're going to want to change, or we're going to want to balance in our field. So what the Healy then does is scan us in our original blueprint, the version of ourselves that already has that already is that already like earns that amount of money that you're desiring, or has that level of optimum health that you desire, whatever that is. And then anything that is in the way, limiting beliefs, blocks, programs, traumas, any of that, the Healy is going to identify that and give you some information. It's going to give you a little bit of feedback here, information about that. And also, which is great because then you can use your other practices, because we are like the most powerful tool in this existence of reality, right? Like we can use that information, do our breath work, do our meditation, our mindfulness, our awareness, whatever that is. And we can send frequencies to help shift that energy out of the way and align us with our blueprint self. So I don't know about you, but that's pretty much my favorite thing in the world. So I'm just going to enter a goal here. So whatever that is, maybe, let's see, I am earning, I'm just going to do a business goal for a moment. I am earning 11,000 a month in, I don't know what month, August, let's go with August 2023. It depends. Some people say add dates, some people don't. You'll learn as you go about how to kind of cultivate the questions based on what comes up. I would usually put in something a little bit more like with ease and grace and happiness and all that. But today I'm just going to get straight to the point. So I'll probably get straight to the point answers. So then you continue to the base, the selection. So here you have a list of like the kind of energies, you know, the career. Obviously, if I'm doing a business-based, number-based goal, then career is going to be like irrelevant. So beside each of these topics, there are numbers. And those numbers are correlating to the number of like desired states that Healy has programmed into this incredible app. So we'll do a coaching call later because you guys are all very new and I don't want to overwhelm you. So for now, this is how I learned. For now, I'm just going to think about like, okay, I had a business goal. So career is going to be related. I'm just going to do one of those for now. Emotional balance is probably important if I'm going to bring money in. Finance is going to be really important. I mean, for the most part, all of them are going to be important. So you could go through, but it has been recommended that like less is more as well. So I'm just going to look at like, self-worth is always a big piece for me and earning money. And maybe we'll goal, let's do with goals as well. So when you have chosen from here, and like I said, we'll do a coaching at another time. So that's what you need to know for now. Done. Make sure you click the check mark at the top. And then start your analysis. So now that is doing its work to identify what energies essentially are limiting me from, although I just picked a number, I'm not, anyways, okay. You know, it would have been really helpful. I should have brought up. Carla, can you pull up the cheat sheet and just send it to me on WhatsApp? Here we have your feedback from the Healy. So this is, I am not like actually reading it. You're probably reading it faster than I am. So sometimes this can be very personal and can be very confronting. And that's why I love Healy, because it's here to create change and expansion for us, right? So let's see, like self-worth. Remember I mentioned that self-worth is like a big piece for me, earning the money that I want to earn. I accept my resistance to acknowledging the facts and consciously deal with it. It's pretty accurate for me, but anyways, I'm just going to see now if I give you, I'm just going to open this page and see, I'm going to find it actually. You sent it on WhatsApp. I'm not seeing it here. I just want to read from it because it's very accurate and helpful. Did you send it in the WhatsApp? You can also drop it in the chat here because it'd be great for people to see as well. Okay, anyways, I'll just go through what I know. So the numbers at the top, 94% is the relevance. So that's telling me, obviously, that it's kind of the higher priority for me. And if it was a negative percentage here, this can come up, it would be subconscious. So I'm not going to go through it all. Actually, I feel like it'll be really complicated and too much right now. But it's just nice to know that it can show us what's conscious and show us what's unconscious. It can show us what we're ready to kind of work with, and it can show us what we are not ready to work with. It can show us if it is ancestral, if it's something from the emotional body or the mental body. It can show us, yeah, that's pretty incredible to be able to identify where these energies are from. Okay. So then what you would want to do is go down to vibrate and I like to choose 2 minutes and 49 seconds. And if it's something I'm trying to work on, I will do it multiple times a day, maybe like 2 or 3 times a day if I'm really focused on it. I usually choose like a business goal, and then I choose like a life goal, and then, however you want to do it. And then you start. And when I'm working with the coach, this is the time that I will sit, and I like to read it because then my conscious mind is focused on something, and, just keeping the body quiet and really focused on that intention. And this is powerful, really, really powerful. Is there any questions about that? Just super simple using the coach. So you enter in a goal of your own. You want to do it in a positive, like the really positive way, as in like you had already accomplished it. There's other ways to use the coach. You can play with it later, but we'll talk about that at a different time. And then you choose the kind of category that it feels relevant to. So if it's an emotional one, maybe you want to choose like family relationships, self-worth, spiritual, and then you make sure you check it off and send the frequencies to yourself there. Okay. And I don't need to let that continue on. Perfect. So is there any questions about the resonance? That's okay. It didn't send because it's not meant to. I was just about to like go and do too many things to busy the minds. Beginner, basic, we'll stay there. I don't know why I just changed this. Okay, so I'll quickly do the aura scan. Aura scans, just as an FYI, are like really sometimes they'll really bring up like the traumas. Because if you think about it, we're working to, what they will do is like scan our auric field, the chakra energy within our auric field, and not just from the body, but like in the quantum field. So this has the information of like all time of everything that's moving in our chakra energy. And if you know about energy chakras, they really are like interwoven with everything. So it will definitely bring up some things. And so we like to be aware of who you're running an aura scan for. It's a really like fun one because it shows things off. But just for example, we did it at a trade show, and I had some of the feedback that came up was quite confronting to the woman that I was doing it on. And so I like to just give people a little heads up. It can be a little bit intense for them, but if you're doing it on yourself, you're all good. So I'm going to do it. I've chosen myself as a client, and I'm going to record my aura. Make sure there's a Healy on so it can connect to it. Okay, let's see. There we go. Get this little image. So this one, you have to make sure that your client has a photo. And there's an interpretation here that will give you basic but fairly extensive information about the chakras. But you'll notice that it gives you the top highest or top lowest. So right now, my solar plexus energy is at 45, super low, super, super low. My forehead chakra, 100%, root chakra, 90%. So those are kind of like the highest, and the lowest that I have, they go into like 3. But then you can actually analyze, and you'll see all of the levels that are going on. 77, that's so fascinating. It's interesting. So you can choose here. So now that you have the information, you can choose to say you don't want to work with your throat chakra. You could take that out, or say you also wanted to work with your forehead chakra. You can change that, but it'll just give you those top 3. And then you start the analysis. And it will do its thing. So it's scanning the chakra energy. And then it's going to give me a lot of feedback here. So again, we will get you a cheat sheet that explains what all is here. But honestly, at the beginning, it's just a lot. So again, just to let you know, like for the beginning, just play with like reading the desired states. I'm just going to pull it up. I'm going to take 1 second. For some reason, Carla couldn't pull it up. I don't know why it wouldn't let her. I'm just going to get it for you, and I'm going to put it in the chat so that you have it. But like put it away for a little while and come back to it when you're ready for it, because it is it's a lot at the beginning. So let me just look here, media and docs. We're going to go for the cheat sheet. Maybe if you're allowed to get it, you'll get it. Okay, you know, oh, there we go. Oh. Okay, I'm just going to move it into here for now so that I can drop it. This one here. Download it. I'll get it into there. Like I said, I'm not a very good multitasker, so you guys have to deal with my humming, but you'll want this piece of information. Trust me. It's just a bit hard to do on the screen. This stuff. There you go. My apologies. I should have had this ready for you. Okay, so then where's our chat? Let's drop it in the chat for you. It's a really good document. You're going to love it. Okay, so if you want to follow along. There we go. I can no longer see anything at all. Can somebody just unmute and tell me if it went into the chat? Because I can't see anything all of a sudden.
It's there.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Okay, so you can open it up if you want to follow along, but I'll just give you kind of like the breakdown of what's on my screen so you can see on there. So like I said, it's a lot, but it's really great to know what you're seeing here. So this is the same for the coach, because the same kind of codes come up at the top there. So you have your relevance, your intensity, and your potency. Okay, and then you can read through, but essentially your relevance is how important this is. Obviously, you know, the higher the percentage, the higher the urgency. And so that's kind of where you're going to start. So then you have your intensity, which is the next number over. So we have a 7 here. So this is telling you how intense this information should be transmitted into the person's field. If this is a high number, then you're most likely going to have an awareness of this. If it's a lower number, kind of anywhere from like 4 and under, it's going to kind of be like, yeah, no, I don't resonate with that. That's not really a thing. So that's where that confronting kind of energy might come up if you're doing this for somebody else. And then the potency will give you an idea of where this is kind of rising from. So D and C, they're kind of more foregrounds. LM is more of a like subconscious. It's more from the like ancestral and that sort of thing. So D is in the physical layer of your being. The C is more mental, emotional. So you have the chart now, and I'll just leave it at that because we don't need to go into it. But anyways, you could go through, you don't have to read through all of mine. I know they're accurate. You go down if you now want to vibrate those frequencies to help harmonize those energies. You then go down, you select a duration. I'm just going to do a super quick one, and you start. And it's going to find your device. This is the Healy Patience, and then it will send you those frequencies. There we go. Okay. So that was the aura analysis, the coaching analysis, and the resonance on there. Was there any questions on that before I close that out?
Hey, I do have a question. This has been really helpful. Thank you.
Awesome.
So if we're just starting out, like eventually for my husband and I, like he has knee pain and shoulder pain, and I have chronic pain. And I imagine eventually like we'll do specific modules for that. But like when you're just starting, should you just run the analysis and do whatever comes up as the highest? And like, how long do you do that for? And then when do you switch over to doing the deeper things? I'm
Yeah.
sure you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Absolutely. Thank you for asking this question, because at the beginners, I'm like, I assume that everybody knows this when they purchase, but you may not have heard this. So at the beginning, when you're first using your Healy, it is recommended to work with the Gold Cycle programs. So hopefully you've been doing that, because I saw a lot of you have had your Healys for like 3 weeks. So hopefully you've worked with your Pure in the Gold Cycle programs. And the reason that we do begin with the Pure is because it is a frequency that is really helpful for purification. So it works with our lungs and our kidneys and our circulatory system. So the Pure is a really beautiful program to start with, and you would do that kind of simply for the first like week. It's okay if you've done something else, that's fine. So yeah, so hopefully you would start with the Gold Cycle programs. And what I'll let you know too, if you're working with pain, is the release program is going to be really, really, really beautiful for you, because we do have pain programs in our Healy, right? We have the actual pain programs, and Healy is medically approved for treatment of pain. So you can be, if you have like, so do you have like injury or like a local like back pain or joint pain or something like that? Sorry, I have no idea who was talking. It didn't show me on the
It's Megan. My husband has very localized pain. I have like chronic pain.
Okay.
And with the gold modules, like how long should you run them at first? Because I know they always say less is more. I definitely didn't know that part. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so how long? The program will have its recommended time. So you can
And so
run
that's
it.
okay. Just
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah, run
Do
it for the duration of the program. The intensity, like how high you have it, is where you work with your less is more. You don't need to be blasting it out. So if you're working with the pain programs, that's most of them will be electrode. So I'm just going to bring this up for people because it's actually really helpful. Thank you for, I love questions. I work better than just rambling on when people ask me questions. Okay. So, yeah, there we go. Okay. So these are the pain programs. So they're in the pink app, obviously. So these are the pain programs. And so let's just say I'm going to run, pain local. So if like there's back pain, for example, and you know exactly where it is, you can do the pain, like the just regular pain program, but say you have an injury or you've got like back pain, see how it has the electrodes on there. So the pain programs are different style of frequency. They're moving more similar to a TENS, where they're going back and forth between the electrodes. And so you place your electrode on either side of where the pain is in the body. And so if it's a knee pain, you put one on either side of the knee, elbow, shoulder, that kind of thing. Just feel like obviously intuitively on one side of the injury, on the other pain spot on the other. And then, so see how you see it's a maximum program duration of 20 minutes. So when you start that program, it'll transfer and do all those things, whatever, but you would want to increase the intensity to that point of tingle for this one, for the pain programs, and then just like back it off one, or, stay in and around there. And like I said, yeah, less is more. But the other thing is with this is like, if like for your husband, for example, it might take up until 100 for him to kind of feel that. And then that's okay, because of the way that these pain programs work. It's okay. as long as he's drinking lots of water and that sort of thing. So, and then the pain, like systemic, this is like systemic pain. So this is if you have chronic pain in your entire body. So right at the base of your skull, you know, where you have your like occipital ridge there, where your like skull meets your neck. It's a bit hard for some people because like for me, my hair is all there and my electrodes won't stick. So I go down to this spot where my electrodes will stick. And the reason why it's here is because it's working with your cerebral fluid, and this is going to work throughout your entire body for any pain that you have there. So again, you would do the 20-minute pain program and no more than 3 microcurrents a day though. So then you could also be working with the gold cycle programs that I mentioned, gold cycle programs to begin. So see how this beautiful like little layout, the pure is at the top because he's like suggested for the pain or the pure program to be at the top. So you could be working with that, but also the release program for you, because you're working with pain, is going to be your best friend for like ever and ever and always until, well, not always actually, because your pain is most likely going to dissipate. So these programs, never take them for granted. They are like the cornerstone of Healy and very, very, very incredible and work with all your organ bodies so beautifully. Care is a really good one if you're feeling like a bit under the weather. If somebody has like cold symptoms or that sort of thing, care is really beautiful for that. Energy is like coffee, how it will grab from like, you know, how coffee grabs from like your adrenals, which depletes them. So it's not super great, but you get that bump. So energy is not necessarily like if you're like a hugely like fatigued and completely depleted human being, which I was when I came to Healy, energy is not the program to run because it's going to like grab energy. Like if you don't have it, you don't have it. It's going to grab energy from the places in your body and give you that bump, but then could be potentially depleting. So I didn't know about that at the beginning. It's a nice thing to know. So sorry, I got sidetracked when I saw it, but yeah, so the release for the pain, does that answer your question?
Yeah, and I just like I'm a very like literal person. So it's like, you know, for the first week, should I do pure once a day every day? The next week, should I do care once? You know what I mean? Like,
okay. So yes, do pure 1 to 3 times a day for the first week. And then after that, maybe the next week use release 1 to 3 times a day. And you can also, or so like say the next week use release 1 time a day, and then go into the pain programs and either run the chronic, like systemic pain one, the top left one, or if you have a spot on your body, then choose that one. Okay. And then always, if you have pain, you can come in and choose that. Because you're working with chronic pain, do that. That's great. But then you can start introducing the blue app and scanning, because the source of your pain is maybe what you need to work with, right? You can deal with like a little bit of the symptom of the pain with what I just described. The gold cycles will also work with this like core, because it has that scanner and that's not just one frequency. On the gold cycles, you're going to get multiple frequencies. So that's why release is going to be really beautiful. But doing the blue scan and just trusting whatever comes up, like once a day at least, do a blue scan. Or you could do like a blue scan once a week and then just run whatever came up every day. And then do another scan. Like people do it either way. They either scan, like Jessica Hesser, who had incredible pain in her body. When she came to Healy, she just did a resonance scan and just trusted everything. And she still does that to this day. And she was like 5 days of using Healy, was pain-free from fibromyalgia and other things. And although I don't think I'm allowed to publicly talk about that, but anyways, she had a lot of pain issues. And in 5 days of using Healy, her life changed because she never had those symptoms again. So she 100% believes in just scanning. There are like time waiver practitioners that will say, if you do a scan, and you get, say it tells you to do the release program, you then run that release program for a couple of days, and then you do another scan. So you can choose for your own self, but that's what I would say for you to do, is like create a little system for yourself then, if it feels safe and comfortable. and then trust the scan, even if it's like, kidney mail that comes up, or, whatever it is, just run it, because frequency is not like, these are just labels on them, right? The frequency is what you're looking for, and it's going to go to the core of what is causing. It might be working with something that is precursor to the pain. And it's just, you're in the right place with Healy for that. So hopefully that helps. Okay, I'm just going to go to the chat, and anybody go ahead and unmute yourself if you have another question. Yes, I will send the replay out so you can skip through when you don't want to listen to me. I was told to go into settings when I first got Healy and change the frequency device. I can't remember. Okay, yes, good question. Okay, so all Healys are come standard. So sorry, I guess I shouldn't mention where I'm going. All Healys come with a certain voltage. There's a high voltage and a low voltage, and they typically come at the low voltage because they did like a study, and the majority of people were more sensitive to frequencies than not, and so they keep it at a low voltage. So if you want to start on the low voltage, you're good to go. You don't have to change anything. If you want, at some point, say you've used it for a couple of months and you want to increase the voltage of your device, or say you're finding that you're like up at like 70 and 80% and very comfortable there, you may want to increase the voltage of your Healy. So to do that, you use the Heal Advisor app, the one with the little rainbow on it. You go in. And then you go to your settings, My Healy, and then your devices will be listed here. See, I've got most of my devices at high current. So here's one here. So the one that has 33 at the end is a low current device. So if I wanted to increase, I could just go to the high current there, click on it, or switch it, sorry. The big pink button, you mean? And then you just read, it lets you know about it. And then you would continue. I'm just not going to do that one right now. I keep that one low for the person who uses it. Okay, so hopefully that helps with that. And that was in your Heal Advisor. I've had trouble sleeping since 7 days in, so I guess I need lower. Yeah, you could also need more hydration as well, some grounding and some minerals added, as well as, lower. But sometimes also, as we are moving through and harmonizing and shifting our energies, some of us call it healing, there might be an experience of what some people will call like a healing crisis, and that is like everything being energy. Sometimes there is a equalization or a balancing that will happen. And so symptoms may arise that are uncomfortable, or a little bit uncomfortable. So breathing and like all of these practices, backing off, just like really trusting yourself. This is a device that's used with you in co-creation. So if there is a something that's coming up, like when I first started using Healy, I had nobody like told me anything. I just like went straight to using it, and I really overdid it. I did not take this thing off. I was like, this thing is so cool. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about these things. Like, I have had so many devices in my house and like healing things over the years. And like, I've never used something so consistently, but this little thing I have not put down. Like this one, the clip is loose. Like I use it all the time, and I went overboard. And so I ended up with quite the symptom situation. I actually lost my voice for 6 full days. I didn't feel bad, but there was some stuff happening as I was like clearing out these things. And to be honest, it's like, you could say, like, that was really crappy. Like, how did Healy do that to you? But it was the best thing in my family because it was the first night in 5 years or 4 years at the time that my husband put my son to sleep because I had no voice. So a 4-year-old and I weren't really like going well together for like go to bed and do the thing. So I got 6 days in my bedroom all by myself to meditate and be with myself. That was the greatest gift that I needed. And I got that from Healy. It may have been perceived as uncomfortable. It may have looked like on the outside, like I got sick from using it, but it was the greatest gift. So take it slow and drink lots of water. Make sure you're grounding and get used to using frequency. It's a powerful tool, but it's an amazing, amazing tool for you. So that's what I would say about the sleeping. Okay. Oh yeah, I think Carla answered that about having so many devices. I have so many devices because I work with Healy, and I know this call is about the device, but this company has gifted me many devices. So I only purchased one device and I earned all the rest of them. So obviously you can talk to other people about that. This is a call for devices. So, all right. I'm not sure if you answered this question. But can more than one person use the same Healy? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So when you're using the microcurrent programs, it's not connected to the client at all, right? So if I'm picking up this Healy, and as long as they have, they just have to download the app onto their phone. So like my husband has the apps on his phone. So, and he grabs whatever Healy is around. If we, at the beginning, we had the same Healy. So he would just, put the pink program on and that would be fine. And then to share, if you're both wanting to scan, you just have to add whoever the client. So your husband needs to be added, your wife needs to be added, whoever you're using the blue app for just needs to be added as a client. So you can use one Healy. Absolutely. Over time, you're probably going to want to get your own to share because you don't take it off. So, okay. I think that's probably a good place to complete. We've showed you how to use the blue app. We've showed you how to use the pink app. We showed you how to search if you really are just curious about finding something that has a symptom. You always want to make sure that you close the apps in between. If all these apps are open, that will be, so, troubleshooting, for example, things that will come up. If your Healy won't connect, this happens really commonly at the very beginning. You can just stop for a second and slow down because that's where you like panic and you're like, why isn't it working? Just start the process over again. Make sure everything is closed, like all of your apps swiped out, not just minimized. Swipe out all of your apps, close them, and start over. Turn on your Healy, then open the app. If it won't connect, you can look at a few different things like you have to make sure your Bluetooth is on like Discover mode as well on your phone, but you can uninstall and reinstall the app at some point. Right now, the blue app is a little bit on the glitchy side because there's a new one coming. So all the energy is going towards the new one. So just uninstall your app and reinstall it if you need to. When your Healy kind of isn't doing what you're wanting to, you can do a hard reset by pressing the one and only button. This is a very simple device. Just press and hold it for 20 seconds and it will reset. You can start over again. Remember that when you're charging your Healy, the green light will be on as long as it needs a charge, and the light will go out when it's fully charged. You'll know that your Healy needs to be charged because it will go blink, 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 blink. And you're like, why won't it connect? If it's doing blink, 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 it needs to be charged. Okay. Is there any other questions? So Jessica, I think Carla answered you in the chat. Yeah, you really do want to start with the gold cycle programs. I didn't know this. And I just told you what happened to me. It was good though. Amazing. Okay. I'm so excited for all of you. Honestly, it's incredible. Reach out to the person that you purchased it from with any questions that you have. We also have a device thread. So if you do not have access to that, please make sure that you ask the person you purchased it from or contact me for access to the device thread, because having a spot to go and talk about, it's not working here. Somebody will answer that, right? And also, if you have an experience, you're like, hey, has anybody had an experience with this? Talk about it in there because it's really helpful. So actually, you guys are all under Jessica. So let me just grab it. Yeah, so Healy Hub as well. Carla mentioned in the chat. Yeah, there's two of us. Sorry, I'm Carla, the Link Healing, and Carla Joy yeah, we're friends and we're on the same team. We're business partners and it's incredible. So yes, the Healy Hub, if you don't have, actually let's, does anybody not have access to the Healy Hub? So the Healy Hub, what it is a group of us came together and created a like step-by-step. So I forget who was talking to me earlier. Maybe it was Megan, who really likes like protocol essentially. The Healy Hub is really cool to go through because every day for 5 days, I believe there's specific things to go through, and it really teaches you more deeply about a lot of the things I didn't have a chance to get into. This is super basic, how to walk through your Healy. I also have a 45-minute walkthrough video. If you are interested, just reach out to me. It will be more succinct than whatever I just did here and a lot more information, but it does walk you through if you're like off this call and you figure out you have no idea what I just said. And the recording will go up in the main frequency shift line as well. So the Healy Hub, I'm going to put it in the chat for you. Because I know how this rolls. It's like, oh, I'm going to put it somewhere and then you have to go search for it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find it for you right now. Healy Hub. There we go. And just a note, the Healy Hub is only meant to stay within our lineage, please. So this is anyone under Jess Hesser and below, which if you're here, you've been invited from somebody that is under Jess Hesser. So that is the Healy Hub. Thank you to everybody for showing up. Good luck on your Healy journey. And like I said, reach out for support so you don't get lost in frustration or confusion. This is a tech device. Be gentle with yourself. Take it slow and easy and enjoy the transformation that Healy brings. So the Healy Hub is in there. And oh, I guess the device thread too. I know most of you will have it, but let's just make sure you have the device thread. So that is the WhatsApp chat for Jess Hesser's lineage for the device and experience thread. So if you have questions about tech, the device, or even just like want to talk about like, hey, does somebody know a protocol for this, or tell a really cool story about that, go ahead and jump in there. Okay, amazing. Thanks for showing up today and good luck on your journey. Enjoy the ride.